Ready to unleash this power. That one needed more training.
Check 1 2 1 2 1 2. Okay, coming at you with another build, Chef Salty Pork here. Now I'm gonna start this with saying your build is wrong. Because what do we all want to play that end game, right? So if we just, no matter what build, and I've tried most of everybody else's that's online that you can kind of progress through, but I'm telling you right now, nothing compares when you get into the slaughter shaft. Okay, this is the hardest of the proving grounds that's in here, the circle of slaughter, and going through it solo is the benchmark of what we kind of need to go through. I'm an Amara player. She has been my main for quite a while, and let's just get right into it. Okay, you can follow the hellcat version, the whatever version that you have. You can follow Joe, whatever. Okay, but if you can't live through it with those builds, what is the purpose? You are so glass cannon. Like, it doesn't even want, everybody in that circle of slaughter has a rocket launcher. One hit of that, you're pretty much almost dead. Okay, so let's go through the build. Let's just go through all of it. And I have the footage in the background playing. This is circle of slaughter on Mayhem 3 through Vault Hunter mode. I just did the first level, see if I could live through it. I did go down a couple times, and then I kept redoing the build over and over, and I think I found a good, safe, let's say maximum DPS at least, and I was able to live all through 5 of them, but I only captured the first one. But I'll actually release the other one where I play through all of it, but that's gonna be a long video. Okay, so let's go through the weapons and the build. And just kind of talk through it. Now, the Cash Infused Rainstormer, for her, best end slot. This is her weapon. As an elemental Amara, you need to have this. There's different versions of this. Try to get one with the most critical hit damage. This one, I think, is the best one that it can drop. I'm pretty sure there's an anointed version. I haven't had a chance to, but this is, in my opinion, for her, because when she phase locks, she'll grass, and the cool thing with this is it arcs electric damage everywhere else, and wherever it hits, that has a chance to arc back the electric damage. And for her, since we are going to prioritize her splash damage, this is the best. This is where you're going to spend most of your DPS in. The second slot, it doesn't have to be anything else. You can run with like a laser exploder or whatever other rifle or SMG you want. But in my opinion, the best SMG in the game is the Crossroad. I run with the Defrauding Crossroad. This is for the yellow shields per se on the enemies, and this will just rip through it, just so we can go into the next one. Once you get into the red health bar, which is just the normal one, the Rowan's Call, for me, best end slot for her. You can run around with another one, maybe like a Lucian's Call would be pretty good too, a fire version. I did run it with a Butcher one time, but then you run out of shotgun bullets too fast, and it's not as efficient. This one, since critical hits return 2 bullets to your magazine, it's always constant. I don't have to worry about any of that bullets. So it's only the SMG and the shotgun ammo that I have to worry about. Now let's talk about your shield. Now it depends what you're doing. If you're just doing a slaughter, the slaughter 3000, slaughter star 3000, in my opinion, you'd be better off with the transformer. Okay, they do a lot of shock damage, and this will actually benefit for that proving ground, and because this one converts 100% of shock damage into shields, and you get a chance to absorb bullets, it's pretty good. I got the anointed version where you get 30% of damage taken is returned back to attacker after you do the face grasp. So this is pretty OP for that specific one, but not for Slaughterhouse. I don't think I wasn't living enough. I wasn't, yeah, it wasn't happening for the Slaughterhouse, in my opinion. The recharger, I'm sorry, the stopgap is your best in slot. For the sole purpose of, if the shield breaks, you become immune for 5 seconds. That 5 seconds is so crucial. And then you'll notice, like, I'll know when the shield breaks. I'll run around somewhere else so I can get the shield back to max. A little bit of playful gaming will let you live a little better. For the artifact, that we're gonna go with a legendary. Sorry, that's the wrong one. The legendary elemental. I've done it with the electric banjo. Yeah, you kind of go through a little bit more damage, but you really do not benefit from it, because you do more damage if you get an elemental on you. Oftentimes in the Slaughterhouse, you'll get fire or corrosive on you. That's where these two weapons would shine, the Crossroad and the Rowan's Call, the fire version. And a damage boost in itself, you can't live without it. I think this is the best end slot for her for that specific proving ground. Okay, you can run around with the banjo. This does proc quite a bit and will do quite a bit of damage, but man, I think the elemental still lets me live. It really does. And then for her, the grenade, you can run around with the hex, or rather, the hex is the best end slot. This is not the best one. This is the one that splits into two. This does have the 3 mervs, so it's okay. It's not as good. What will make her so much more efficient is the anointed one, where if you use your skill, you get 1 back. You'll understand exactly what it is when I'm going through it, because this, in my opinion, this is my health region, okay, for her. Now, as the class mod, you can, as the hellzerker is her best in slot for her. Not that one, excuse me. Where is it? This one. Now, you can run around with class specific ones, meaning that I have one for sniper rifle and I have one for assault rifle damage. In my opinion, it doesn't give you the benefit because we are running with this, but then sometimes you'll do more damage with this, and then sometimes with this. In my opinion, a flat weapon damage across the board gives you the more efficient DPS all across the board, and you don't have to worry about which one you have on, or which, you don't have to think so much. You just use it. And the hellzerker mod gives you the rush stack, that gives you weapon damage and cooldown. I'll explain exactly what it is, but I took it off so for when we go into the build, it's not giving you a plus or minus into the build. But if you can find one that gives you flat weapon damage, perfect. Okay, now let's go to the actual build. The bread and butter is the Fist of the Elements. Anima and Tempest is my 2 favorite skills of hers. This will give you bonus shock damage, and like I said, the more shock damage you have, the better for Amara. Wildfire, so we can spread it more, and you'll understand exactly why. We are running with the incendiary one. You can run with the corrosive, it doesn't matter. It's better if you just left it on the fire, and then ties that bind is her most efficient skill, second most efficient skill on this tree alone, and I'll explain to you why. Because any of the linked opponents that you grab will get 35% damage dealt to the person. It's spread around, and since we are spreading it, it just synergizes really well. Dread for the gun damage, specifically on the grassed person. Deep Well for extra magazine size. Indiscriminate, for her, efficient. It will ricochet the hell out of everything. It is so nice. But then the most important skill in this tree is sustainment. Like I said, this will synergize really well with the Merv Hex, or with your grenade. This will allow us to live more so, because everybody runs around with a rocket launcher in a slaughterhouse. And I'll tell you right now, all the builds that you can run with, they will fail. They will literally fail if you don't have a Merv Hex or something that will continuously do damage, because there is a downtime when you do the grasp and you kill everybody. There's a really long downtime, and that's when the grenade will shine. Okay, sustainment is really important for her, and then forceful expression for the bonus elemental damage on top of what she's doing. Let's move on to the Brawl tree, just the personal space. This is it. I don't know, a lot of people will go into helping hands and damage reduction. In my opinion, I've tested it with it. I don't see any benefit from it. I'd rather get pure DPS from her build, and the closer we are to the target, the greater the bonus. So up to 36% damage dealt is pretty insane, and you'll see exactly why, and I'll roll footage after this so you kind of explain it. Now, Mythical Assault tree, the most important skill on this one is Violent Tapestry. This is the rush stacks. This is what I'm talking about. And as soon as you activate it, we get 10 of the rush stacks, plus it synergizes pretty good with the hellzerker mod. It'll give us an extra 5, so 15 all together on the rush stacks, and it stacks. How many stacks can you say? And then fast hands, and I'll explain to you why. There's a huge downtime when you're DPSing the opponents and you're reloading, and it's so slow. You want to do it faster. You want to be able to up and go, because you don't have time. Literally, rockets are coming at you. And like I said, Slaughterhouse is the benchmark to all the other proving grounds. Transcend, bonus accuracy and critical head damage. Critical head damage alone is phenomenal on her, and an action skill cooldown. This will make her the tank that she is in front of all these enemies. Okay, and then Ascendant gives you all the other bonuses on top of it, and here is where her second most important skill on this tree alone is the stillness of mind. When you grab somebody, a lot of everybody in the same target will get lifted up and get grasped. To be able to CC everybody to not take damage is what makes this build a little better than everything else that you've seen, in my opinion. Okay, now we'll roll footage, that way you kind of see exactly why. And then Laid Bare, increased damage from all sources after you do the action skill. So wherever everybody's getting touched, specifically the main target, will get increased damage of 16%, and then after you get 25% bonus damage on top of just everything after the skill has ended. Really, we were going to try to maximize the amount of downtime that we have as we're going through all this stuff. And then Wrath, you gain increased gun damage after she activates her skill for a few seconds. 8-second cooldown. This will synergize well with this, so if you just kind of put them together, insane. Okay, while it's happening, you get 13% damage. After, you get 13% damage. So if we just do together 16 plus 30, let's say 30% damage, your uptime at 8 seconds, and then the cooldown on the actual skill is only about 4 seconds. Okay, now there is a little cheat right now where you can activate this by the second, because I think you can just respec while you have like a class mod on, and you get that down to like 1 second. That's gonna get fixed, and all the other let's say builds that you see online right now benefit from this, because it's a hack. We're future proofing it, so when they do patch it, you can't do this anymore, and then people are gonna freak out. They're like, I can't kill anything anymore as Amara. So this is the build that will get you through it. Okay, so that is it. And then let's go through the bonus stats. I'm 291 on the Guardian rank, and I prioritize mostly for gun damage, critical hit, and cooldown. So a lot of benefits going into it. So this is the build, and then let's put through all the other stuff, and then let's just roll some footage. That way you kind of understand. Like I said, Slaughter Shaft benchmark. Everything else is easy. You can roll face it. You can literally roll face it. There's no skill to it. But Slaughter Shaft gets harder and harder the more events you get. So let me know if that helps you out. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of other builds out there, but I can guarantee you, if you go solo by yourself, go to the Slaughter Shaft, try out that build that everybody's popularized right now on YouTube, you're not gonna live. You're not gonna live. You're gonna be like, oh, I'm supposed to melt faces, and then you're like, I'm dying. I can't do it. Ties that bind. Sustainment. Okay, personal space, really important because you're right there right next to their face. The violent tapestry for the rush attacks, and then stillness of mind to give you the automatic phase grasp on all opponents to CC them, and that's the beauty of this build. Laid Bear, Wrath, and as much splash damage and reload speed as you can. That way you can keep on doing what you're doing. That way there's no downtime to what you're doing. Okay, I know that's a little long, but I think the footage will give you a sense of what this build can actually do on endgame proving grounds. And you will know as much as I do. I tried all the builds. I tried Joltses, I tried Killer Sixes, I tried Moxsies, who's really popular right now. They all fail to it. I'm telling you right now, they will all fail in solo Slaughter Shaft. If they're running around with friends, it's a little easier, and I kid you not, it's a little easier, even though so everybody's skill level goes up because there's people to revive you. This one, there's no reviving. It's just you and the opponent. Okay, let's roll footage, and enough of me talking. Other than that, peace out.